really hard to say who has the most power. It's some very powerful entities out here.
New tonight, stand-up comic Katt Williams has had a controversial visit to Seattle the past few days, and tonight he's telling us his side of the story.
I know that if your mouth is really, really big and you try to tell the truth for a living and you like to air people out, hatred is coming your way.
I understand what it's worth doing when the industry is canceling one black guy. I know what happens when they are going to elevate another.
And what I realized with the club is what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of their club.
And I won't take no for an answer. It's ridiculous. You don't even play in our league.
Said even Oprah Winfrey didn't want to have me on. You know, when you're trying to promote your big three, you're trying to build your business and all this other stuff.
With Katt Williams, known for fearlessly exposing the industry's darkest secrets, has he crossed a line? With the wrong people, could Oprah really be pulling strings behind the scenes to silence him for good stick around? Because this Hollywood conspiracy is about to take a deadly turn.
All lies will be exposed, that's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Katt Williams, the legendary comedian known for his fearless comedy, his controversial antics, and his uncanny ability to find himself in the craziest situations, has been laying low lately. But rumors started swirling that he's been talking about some heavy-duty conspiracy theories. And we're not talking about light stuff here. Apparently, he's claiming that powerful people, some big-time media mogul, are trying to silence him. And you guessed it, Oprah is allegedly at the top of this list. But here's where it gets even weirder. Ice Cube, the rap legend turned actor, steps into the scene out of nowhere. He starts sending out warnings about cat safety.
At this point of being in this business this long, Hall of Fame, Walk of Fame, you name it, you got all of them, right? Who has the most power in the entertainment industry?
Ice Cube has been speaking up more and more about the entertainment industry, and now he's voicing concerns about his friend Katt being targeted. He's claiming that powerful figures don't want Katt around because he knows too much and talks too much. Ice Cube's been around long enough to know the ins and outs, the secrets, and most importantly, who's pulling the strings behind the scenes. And he's saying that Katt's in danger. It sounds like the plot of a blockbuster thriller. But this is real life, folks. Or at least it seems to be. And the Oprah connection here's where the internet lost it, according to Ice Cube. Katt has allegedly been targeted by Oprah's inner circle for knowing things he shouldn't and speaking out.
Oprah is obviously a saintly, godlike figure who's revered by all decent people. Why would she exclude you?
Now Oprah has a reputation for being a media queen, not a villain. But fans are wondering if this powerful woman could actually be part of a Hollywood machine that silences voices it doesn't like. Some are even saying Oprah is trying to ruin Katt Williams' career and maybe even his life. But why? What does she or her so-called inner circle have to gain from keeping Katt quiet? People are going wild with theories speculating that it's not just Katt, but a whole list of celebrities who've been warned or silenced now. Could this all be one big conspiracy theory? Absolutely. But Ice Cube isn't backing down.
I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all got to deal with. You know who they are, and they definitely know who they are.
He's warning C, and he's warning us that the stakes are higher than we think. He's calling out these power players, saying they'll do anything to protect their empire, even if it means taking out those who stand in their way. Recently, Shannon Sharpe's podcast Club Shay has also been blowing up like crazy ever since that interview with Katt Williams. And that's because this interview has spilled a ton of secrets about some of the industry's biggest names, like Oprah coming next. But now it seems like they are really going after by canceling his show, all because they were exposed there by Katt.
All lies will be exposed, that's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Back in 2007, Oprah Winfrey opened up a boarding school in South Africa called the Leadership Academy for Girls, all inspired by Nelson Mandela. Even though the South African government wasn't thrilled about it, mostly because of the high costs in a struggling area, the school kicked off with some seriously fancy amenities like salons and a gym room, which definitely raised a few eyebrows over the years. There have been some scandals surrounding the school, but all those conspiracy theories about Oprah, they don't really have any solid proof to back them.
Oprah, look up and look out, man.
Oprah actually handpicked 152 students to attend her school. But it didn't take long for things to go south. One of the employees, a 27-year-old named Virginia, was charged with acting inappropriately with at least 6 students aged 13 to 15. These were the same girls Oprah chose to live at the academy, and one of the staff members responsible for their care ended up crossing some serious boundaries. It's shocking to think that while Oprah was trying to give these girls a better life, someone on the inside was harming them in ways that should never happen. The Times, a Johannesburg newspaper, wrote in an editorial, "The scandal that has rocked Oprah Winfrey's South African School for Girls does not reflect badly on the famous talk show host. It reflects badly on this nation. And it should not be surprising that it manifested itself in Oprah's school. Oprah should not be condemned for allegations made against this matron. She should be praised for her decision to aggressively deal with it. This incident was a major black mark for South Africa, especially considering the country's history with kids being harmed by school employees. It's really troubling that Oprah put these students in danger by hiring someone like Virginia. As soon as the news broke, Oprah jumped into action. She flew to South Africa with a team of investigators to figure out exactly what had happened at the academy. Students of the 152 accepted students by Oprah to attend the institution, laying accusations on the dorm matron Virginia Endley. Basketball. Good thing Oprah went to the school herself to investigate, especially with her name all over the mess. But guess what? That employee, Virginia, ended up being cleared of all charges. Classic justice system, right? And if that wasn't wild enough, Virginia even tried to sue Oprah for defamation after being found innocent. Talk about bold. But that was just the start of the drama. Less than 2 years later, things got messy again when some students got into physical fights. One 15-year-old even tried to pressure the victims to keep quiet and not say anything to their parents or investigators. In the end, 7 students were suspended for intimidating others and acting inappropriately. Seems like trouble just kept following that school. Around one letter sent to the parents of a suspended girl reportedly said she was found guilty of physical contact of a yes nature with another pupil on campus, harassment, bullying other girls on campus, and being dishonest by not telling investigators the whole truth. People were really puzzled about, even if Oprah visited the school less than a year ago to sort things out, yet issues like this keep popping up. How does a 15-year-old even get away with pressuring classmates into keeping quiet and lying to officials about it? But less than 2 years after that second scandal, cops found a dead newborn at Oprah's school in South Africa. One of her handpicked students, who hasn't been named, gave birth there, and instead of getting help, reportedly stuffed the baby in her backpack. She later ended up in the hospital for bleeding, likely from giving birth at the school. It's such a sad and messed up situation. While Oprah can't control every aspect of her students' lives, she definitely has a say in who she associates with. And if you think of this, it has been reported that young people were T and Diddy's alleged freak-off, due to which he has also been arrested. So maybe Oprah was the supplier because people getting disappeared from school, and present in Diddy's freak-offs may give some clue. But that's just like the tip of the iceberg of her alleged crimes. A lot of folks are saying she's been known to exploit and blackball those trying to make it in the industry, and it seems like Cindy Crawford could be one of the first potential victims caught up in this mess. Her initial encounter with Oprah was a far cry from the more polished vibe of her 2013 appearance on Oprah's Masterclass. But looking back, Crawford's warm feelings toward Winfrey aren't as straightforward as they seem. Even after making 10 appearances on Oprah, she's realized that her first introduction to the show was anything but cozy, especially in today's context. It's like she's been doing some serious soul-searching about how Winfrey's actions might come across. Now there's a sense that there might still be some lingering issues between Crawford and Winfrey.
Show us why you're worthy of being here. In the moment, I didn't recognize it. Only when I look back at it and I was like, oh my gosh, that was so not okay, really.
In the pilot episode of The Supermodels, Cindy Crawford got real about her first time on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And wow, it was a lot. She was only 20 years old when she showed up with her manager, John Casablancas. And the whole thing felt more exploitative than supportive. Oprah, who was still pretty new to hosting back in 1986, barely even acknowledged Cindy. Instead, she kept throwing questions at Casablanca like, did you have to G her? Has she always had this body? Like, seriously? And if that wasn't awkward enough, Oprah then asked Cindy to stand up and show off her body to the audience. I was like the chatterer child, like be seen and not heard when you look at it through today's eyes. When Oprah's like, stand up and show me your body, Cindy Crawford opened up about how that whole Oprah interview made her feel, and yikes, it's rough. She said it made her feel like chattel or a child, basically being told to just look pretty and stay quiet. The wildest part, Oprah, who's supposed to be all about empowering women, put Cindy in such a degrading spot. I was so traumatized. I really felt I wasn't seen as a person who had a voice in her own destiny, Cindy admitted. And honestly, it's hard not to feel for her looking back. She realized how messed up the whole thing was, and here's the kicker. After Cindy called it out, the interview mysteriously disappeared from YouTube. It really seems like Oprah's trying to pretend it never happened. But Cindy speaking up sparked a lot of reactions. One person commented, what she says, and what she does are two different things. She claims she cares, but she lies. The fact that she was so evil to Monique. Her behavior towards the poor people of Lahaina was horrible. Her friendship with Harvey Weinstein, etc. Oprah is not a nice person. Even Oprah's BFF, Gayle King, chimed in saying she was shocked and a bit disappointed. Gayle said, I'm surprised and a little disappointed. Cindy's been on the show many times, and it's always been great. I'd hate to think something from so long ago bothered her this much. It's not in Oprah's nature to humiliate or hurt anyone. Cindy Crawford isn't the only one who's felt overshadowed by Oprah. You'd think after all these years in the industry, Oprah would know how to create a supportive vibe for other artists, but nope, it seems like she's still rubbing people the wrong way. Now rumors are swirling that Taraji P. Henson had a similar experience during the press tour for the Color Purple musical film. Fans are buzzing about a possible feud between Oprah and Taraji, after a video from the tour went viral with people dissecting every little bit of their body. Language for signs of tension. Whether it's awkward glances or subtle shade, viewers seem convinced something's up on the surface. It looks like Taraji and Oprah have nothing but love and respect for each other. But let's be honest, it feels a little more complicated than that. Yeah, Taraji's king. It as an actress with roles like Cookie Lion and Empire. And she's made serious moves in Hollywood, especially when it comes to pushing for pay equity and better opportunities for Black women. But let's keep it real, she's not exactly on Oprah's level. When it comes to influence, Oprah is a media powerhouse with a platform that can shift the culture. And you can't help but wonder if Taraji's feeling that pressure with all the recent rumors flying around. It kind of seems like Taraji's walking on eggshells, trying to keep things cool while managing whatever tension might be simmering under the surface. Oprah's definitely been a mentor figure for her. But in a town like Hollywood, where everything's a high-stakes game, there's probably more going on than what they're showing. Oprah's been deep in the mix as an executive producer for the Color Purple musical film. And while she's always hyping up Taraji's talent, there's this sneaky feeling that Taji is playing it safe to keep things smooth. She's come out and defended Oprah against any gossip about tension. But let's be real, if the pressure gets too crazy, you got to wonder if Taraji might eventually spill the tea on what's really going down behind the scenes. It's definitely a tricky spot. Taraji deserves her own spotlight, but Oprah's influence is so huge that it's hard not to get overshadowed. Fans can't help but feel frustrated, thinking Taraji might be holding back or sugarcoating her true experience just to keep the peace. One person on the internet wrote, "What is Oprah's issue with other Black women in the industry? Toni Braxton, Monique, and now Taraji P. Henson. It seems like she doesn't want her sisters to succeed. Why Oprah? That's unkind and hateful. Perhaps that's why she hasn't established any schools or economic opportunities for Black women in America. Just saying the world sees two powerhouse women, Taraji and Oprah, teaming up. But it feels like there's some unspoken tension bubbling just under the surface. If Taraji ever decides to speak her truth, it could be a bombshell, shedding light on the real pressures of working with someone as influential as Oprah. And let's not forget, this wouldn't be the first time Oprah's involvement with another star stirred controversy. Just look at Toni Braxton in her VH1 Behind the Music interview. Toni got real about her financial struggles and how bankruptcy hit her career hard. But things took a rough turn when she appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Toni expected a conversation about her finances, but Oprah hit her with some unexpectedly harsh questions that left her blindsided. It was a tough moment for Toni, adding to the stress she was already carrying. And it's a reminder of just how intense things can get when Oprah's in the mix. I read that you were upset about stories that your overspending caused. This Toni didn't hold back when she reflected on what she saw as Oprah's rudeness, saying she was so freaking mean to me. I was in shock before the interview. Toni had always spoken highly of Oprah, so she was totally blindsided by how critical Oprah turned out to be. I couldn't believe it, 'cause I loved her so much. I admired her and looked up to her. She pretty much reprimanded me, Toni recalled. But it didn't stop there. Toni shared that Oprah's disapproval cut even deeper, recalling how Oprah made comments like, "I've heard you have Gucci flatware, whereas I, Oprah Winfrey, do not own Gucci."
I read that you were upset about stories that your overspending caused this.
I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all got to deal with. You know who they are, and they definitely know who they are.
He's warning C, and he's warning us that the stakes are higher than we think. He's calling out these power players, saying they'll do anything to protect their empire, even if it means taking out those who stand in their way. Recently, Shannon Sharpe's podcast Club Shay has also been blowing up like crazy ever since that interview with Katt Williams. And that's because this interview has spilled a ton of secrets about some of the industry's biggest names, like Oprah coming next. But now it seems like they are really going after by canceling his show all because they were exposed there by Katt.